them steppers, huh? But you can't step with us. Niggas swear they certified steppers, but don't step enough. Oh, you be with them steppers, huh? But you can't step with us. Niggas swear they certified steppers, but don't step enough. So you be with them steppers.
Okay. Oh, well, you need hookah, baby. Okay. When I moved down here, that's when I realized, oh yeah, hookah. Yeah. Everybody on hookah. It's like a main party.
Yeah, that's a whole vibe.
Essential.
Well, listen, man. Welcome back to episode 36 of the Certified Steppaz podcast. And as you already know, this is KP. My boy Jeremy is out, but I do have a special guest, the lovely Kiki, and I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Shakila. Everybody call me Kiki. And I'm here today with Caleb, and we're just going to be doing some talking about different things.
She told me about my government. That's going to be at the end of the show. We'll talk about why she did that. But no, first and foremost, thank you for pulling up. I really appreciate it. Okay. I wanted to sit down with you today, just kind of have a conversation around and kind of switch topics. I know a lot of stuff on our podcast is rooted in men and women and talking about from a relationship perspective, right? Giving the men's side versus the woman's side, and then you're basically debating that on the why around that. I want to strip that away today, and I kind of want to have a healing conversation with you because I know the journey you've been on, right? Mm-hmm. And and kind of the steps you took to get to where you are right now. So my first question to you though is I want to kind of talk about some of the shit that you got going. I know that you got a few businesses that you either did already jump started or that you got going in the work. So before we jump into my other questions, I kind of introduce some of that to the people about what you have going.
Well, I currently have a website called Holistic Herbs where we focus on holistic healing. I sell sea moss, soursop, burdock root, a lot of good, powerful things. Yeah.
Mango, I'm telling you.
Yes, and that's another thing. I add fruit to my sea moss, so it's not just plain sea moss. I add natural fruit. Everything is fresh. Yeah. So whatever you request, that's what we're making. I'm also into short-term real estate with the Airbnb, and I'm also into stocks and trading. I'm just a serial entrepreneur, you know. I'm just trying to make money wherever there's money to make. I'm not chasing the money. I'm chasing growth, knowledge. Yeah. Because as I grew older, I learned that it's a lot of ways to get money in this world, not just a 9 to 5.
And a lot of times you really create it. Sometimes you can create that bag.
Right.
I mean, you see different business ventures popping up all the time. People making. I know a woman killing on OnlyFans being a dog lover.
Oh, you see, and when they see OnlyFans, they have this whole thing that is bad. It's sexual, but it's a platform.
That's exactly. So let's dive into that really quick. What's your thoughts on the OnlyFans? Because I love seeing women get to their bag. Honestly, I like OnlyFans from a business standpoint. I have a perspective on it, but then I also have a different perspective how I would operate in a relationship. Right. And I'll talk about that, but I do want to get your opinion on like OnlyFans in general. How do you feel about that as a woman?
Well, I don't knock it. Everybody have their own ways to hustle. So based on what they prefer to do it's okay. I feel like it's a platform. It was made for people to come on there and make money. How you do it is up to you.
That's why it's private, right?
Right.
Right. I agree. And from a business perspective, that absolutely makes sense to me. Yes. Especially like if you get into your bag, sis, get to your bag.
Right.
If you get into your bag, bro, because I met a few dudes. It was fucking weird at first. Mm-hmm. When a few of my bros was like, I think I'm jumping in this OnlyFans. Man. I ain't gonna say no names. Y'all know who the fuck y'all are. I ain't gonna say no names. But it was weird at first. But then like I didn't realize how many older, lonely women was out there too. Like throwing bread. Okay. So from that perspective, I'm like, okay, bro, get your bread. Sis, get your bread. However, like now from a relationship standpoint, I said this on the last episode. So yeah, so like I said, a lot of my bros do the OnlyFans. Well, some of my bros, I can say a lot of them. And I was like, At first I'm like, bro, I don't know. But then it was like, okay, get to your bag, homie. Right. Get to your bag, sis. From the relationship side though, I'm still okay with it. I said this on the last episode. I was like, listen, it depends on what, like, if I'm in a relationship with her, it depends on how she get into that bread. Because some of that shit can be beneficial to me. I talked about a dog lover, right? I know a chick who get paid off feet pictures. Mm-hmm. Right? And if you
monetize everything,
monetize it all. Man, there's some weird ass people out there who love weird shit.
Yes, right? And they willing to pay for it.
Exactly. So I'm cool with that. Where I drew the line at was like my relationship's sacred and I love, like, you gotta keep your clothes on.
Right.
If we're gonna be together. If you're gonna do it, then I expect you to be single, or just not with me.
I totally agree, because at that point now you stepped into a relationship and your body is private.
Right.
So, and your man don't want everybody seeing what he has access to.
100%.
And then I would also say you also have to take in consideration that things take time, because if you met this person and this is what she is doing, you can't just take away her income. Maybe you need to teach her another way on how to get money before you completely cut that off.
That's a fact, and that's what we miss as men, right? There's so many men that look at that OnlyFans situation, right? And she's feeding whomever, herself. If she got kids, she feeding kids, right?
Right.
And then you want to walk into a woman's life and be like, okay, you don't fuck with me. Nah, you can't be doing all that. But then you don't have a solution on
That's
how
right.
to. So I agree with you. That's fair. Like, you absolutely. If, as a man, if I met a chick who already was popping on OnlyFans, like, yeah, I'm gonna need to come up with something. Be like, all right, well, let's see if we can switch it this way, do something like that. Because I'm gonna tell you up front, yo, I'm not comfortable with you. And I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. You talked about, the body being sacred, and which is 100% true. When you're a man, you want your woman, you don't want everybody to see. Right. But also, our ego is fragile as fuck, right? And in my head, if I had, case in point, if I had a chick that was like, yo, I got OnlyFans, I get naked sometime, boom, I'm immediately saying, okay, what's your price now? Meaning, like, homie can throw out something, and you're gonna be like, and she might not have a price, but my ego's so fragile that that's where my head is gonna be, and that's where my head is gonna stay. And I can't help them emotions because they're gonna come, right?
I totally
So that's why I was like, I'm gonna stay away from that.
Right.
I ain't gonna touch it.
I totally get it, and I just think that everybody have their own ways of making money, how they do it, and that's what I'm gonna just keep saying is on them. Because my first go-to is gonna be here. Yeah. And maybe their first go-to is going to be appearance, because they haven't learned how to monetize things from here to the real world. Yeah. And they just see what they have in physical form to work with instead of going deeper inside. But then that takes time and growth. And maybe if this man come into your life and he decide he don't like that, that's when you work together and we come up with a plan.
Yeah. If the relationship is meant to be, y'all will figure it out. Right. I agree. Right, just jumping back on to where I wanted to go, in terms of, like you talked about just now, like you like using your head, right? Which I've seen, I've watched your journey, and I do it from afar. And I've said a few times how I appreciate the growth that I see in you, and I'm gonna always give you those flowers to your face.
Well, thank you.
But I wanted to kind of dissect some of that, right? Like, at what moment in your life where you were like, oh, this ain't this, it's like this, I need something else. Like, and then after you made that realization, like, what did it take for you to just to actually put things in motion? Did you just jump in and learn as you went, or was there mentors around? Like, kind of paint me that picture of how that looked.
So the first eye opener was with my kids. As you know, I do have 3 kids, 13, 16, 20. So my big thing with them, was education. I used to always tell my kids, you got to make sure you finish school, education. But then I had not graduated high school. So I decided to go back to school because I was like, I can't be preaching this to my kids. I need to lead by example. Yeah. So I went back and I got my high school diploma. And from there, when I learned that I could obtain anything that I want, I started placing goals. And I'm like, okay, I always wanted to work at this place. I got my high school diploma. I went work at this place. Okay. It's cool. I see that the universe is responding to me. So everything I wanted to do, I just set goals and smashed them, And then I realized how much of a gratification it was, how good it felt to just set these goals and continue to smash them. And when I look up, I see how further ahead I am. Yeah. And then I see these little people that's watching me and are inspired. And when I came here, before we moved here, I had so many goals in place. The reason to come here was to scale. Yeah. I felt like my wings were too big for where I was, and I wanted some more room and a new environment. As soon as we came, I jumped on it. I had my plans in place. I jumped on it. And my baby told me, he was like, you know what, Mama? You doing everything you said you was gonna do, but you're doing it so fast.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Yes.
as a black man now, and like I was raised on survival. Right? My mama worked 3 jobs. The hustle in me came from her. However, my financial knowledge, I had to go get.
Right.
Mama,
Same here.
And she'll tell you to your face, she just didn't know how to manage
exactly
money, right? And the point I was making is like the fact that your babies is seeing that. Yes. It's such an man, listen, without you having to say anything,
Yes.
That they soaking up that knowledge.
Yes.
Day in and day out.
Yes.
And that's the leg up you need. When you talk about shifting community, and you talking about taking the Black community and growing it and elevating it, that's where it starts.
Yes.
I don't give a damn what they put in the music. I don't give a damn what they put on TV.
Yes.
If you ain't raising your chick, and this is coming from a guy who ain't got none.
Right.
I just understood. When I look back on life, I'm like, damn, I could have had it way easier.
Right.
My parents knew certain things, but you can't fault them because they come up how they come up.
Yes.
Right. But it's dope to see that, and that's really what I wanted to I wanted to kind of pivot now, because you talked about the universe really quickly, about how things was coming to you and how you felt it. And I know, I've seen you on your spiritual journey. I mentioned I mentioned recently that I go to meditation on Sunday. So she is one of the ladies that be there when we meditate as well. And I know that's a journey that you embark on. When did that start for you, first and foremost? When did you see a turning point? Was it when you saw the universe responding to your positive energy?
Yes. And I was at a dark place at one point in my life, meaning like stressed about things that probably wasn't even worth being stressful, but I guess it was, again, I'm going to say the universe, I say this all the time, telling me that it's time for me to move, It's time for you to get out that place. And when you feel it, it's real, real uncomfortable. So then I had to go within myself. Like I did more meditating, more praying, learning my body, started eating well, just paying attention to my body talking to me, because your body does talk to you. And then I realized how more in tune I was, how less of brain fog I had when I did meditation, or how my body felt when I did yoga. Like, I feel like I could outrun a 21-year-old. You hear me? Okay.
It's crazy, right? When you actually start taking care of your body and you get older. Like I tell people, like I was in the barbershop the other day actually, and it had this lady. It was weird. She was sitting down, and Todd is my barber. He was like, he was mentioning something, how I ain't have no kids and nothing like that. And she was like, "Oh, that's good." She was like, "Take your time, young man," or whatever. Right. And then she was like, "And I got some single friends that I think I want to introduce you." She said that. And I was like, "Man, how old do you think I am?" And she was like, "I'm 26, 27." I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "I'll be 36 this year."
Okay.
So it was, and it's because like of course, like I shop at your shit. Your CMOS, I get my CMOS from you. My other guy who do some wellness stuff, Common Sense, quick shameless plug. He's my frat brother. I buy some other oils from him. So I'm on this holistic natural thing, and like you feel it, like you absolutely feel it.
Because people are always on this, well, you got to die some way. Okay, that's true. You do have to die some way, but do you want to enjoy it before you go? Or do you want to go sickly?
Exactly.
Because that's the big difference. Yes, you will go, but what you put in your body matters. It can matter if you're going to get up every morning and be full of energy, or you're going to get up and want to be in the bed all day.
Right.
So that's when it really matters.
Right. And I honestly, like, I know certain people that I've introduced to like CMOS and Black Seed or Elderberry, right? All these different things that you sell and things that's out there. And like they dealt with anxiety and depression and things like that. And as soon as like you give them, and I tell them, I was like, listen, this shit ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna take two scoops of CMOS and the shit gone.
Right.
Give it 30 days, give it 60 days. You're gonna gradually feel your energy gonna pick up. You're gonna think clearly. You're not gonna be as worried about shit. I saw a meme that was so dope to me. And like I apply shit to my life. You do shit naturally, but you don't think about it until you read it. Like, oh, it's so dope. So I saw a meme that said, and because I was big on this, it's like it said, we spend so much time worrying about where we're trying to get and forget to enjoy what we're at in the moment, right?
Let me say amen on that.
and that's that to a T. Like I love reading shit that like slaps me in the face. I'm like, damn, Kate, that's you all the time. You stay beating yourself up about this didn't go right, or maybe the episode wasn't how you wanted to go, or maybe you trying to get a deal going and the contract was it's just so much shit that you like running your head and you get upset about. But then if I look back 5 years from now, I was in a miserable ass.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's about, recognizing those moments, living in those moments and understanding that you've arrived to a place that you once prayed for. I prayed for these. Okay. I prayed for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And I forget to live in this moment. And that's, insert those meditations and things like that. It keeps me grounded.
Yes. And I would say the world we're in today with all of these viruses, COVID, coming out with all different type of strands, your immunity is your best defense at this point. And when I say your immunity, that means taking care of your body. Make sure you're getting your minerals, your vitamins, because you could take vitamins all day, but you're still deficient from minerals because the vitamins does not replace those minerals. It just replaces the vitamins. And this also comes with research. Learn more about yourself. Learn more about your number twos, your number one. Your head should be in the toilet when you use the bathroom. Okay, it might seem nasty to you, but it's coming from you. Your body talks to you. If you catch it at an early sign, you could always reverse anything that you're dealing with.
Yeah,
anything. And then not just, and it's mental too. So if you're diagnosed with a sickness, if you become that sickness, it's going to tear you down quicker. You ever notice when people are diagnosed with cancer, they immediately go down because the first thing that a sickness tears down is your mind. But if you're diagnosed with it and you're like, okay, this another thing, I'm going to fight this. Yeah. I'm going to live my life. Continue to live your life. And not saying that it will completely get rid of it, but they do have a lot of people that have miracles. Miracles happen because your mind is real strong. It can reverse it. Or even if it doesn't reverse it, your last time on this earth won't be miserable and not you becoming that sickness. You'll still be living up till the end time, the end of your days. Yeah.
And that's a great point because I had announced on the show that I had COVID about 2 months ago, right? And I honestly, the only way I found out about my COVID situation is because I had a trip to Anguilla booked. And you got to get the test 3 days before you go. Wow. So I'm pulling up happy-go-lucky. Like, what's up, man? I'm coming to get this COVID test. I got a trip in 2 days. So she got a mask on like a regular one, right? When she talking to me. She hit my nose, she do a thing. She come back, she got her whole body suit. I said, I know the fuck not. I know I ain't got COVID. Straight up, she told me, she said, you positive, bro. But I didn't have a symptom. Like, and I credit that to the CMOS, to the black seed oil, the elder, all that stuff that I was talking about that I take. Like, I credit that, so much to your point, my immune system, I feel like, is intact. So for me, it's like, you telling no lies. Let me ask you something now when you're talking about health. Now, I want to bring it to the kids. Are your kids involved in, the product? Was it something you had to force on them, or were they?
So at first, no, they didn't like it, but it's there. Yeah. It's in my house. So, and the thing, like with my kids, if it's something that I don't agree with that they're eating, I'm the one buy the food in the house. Straight up. Okay, I eliminate it. Once I eliminate it, exactly. Like I don't buy sodas in my house. I don't buy Debbie cakes and none of this stuff. And it's been a while. And so now my kids, when they see Debbie cakes and stuff, they just like, ugh. Yeah, and it really do. When you haven't had it and you put it in your body. Yes. Oh, you feel that shit so bad. Yes. It's like I remember having Whataburger like maybe about a month ago, and I'm like, how the fuck did I eat that? Yes. And like you really think to yourself, like, damn, that shit is bothering my stomach. Yes. And I challenge people to pay attention to your body after you eat. Whatever you're eating, pay attention to your body. If you become tired, that's not the food for you. Yeah. You're feeding yourself to death and not to life. But pay attention to your body when you eat. Your body tells you everything. Yeah. The other thing I want to ask about your kids really quickly, like, are they involved in your businesses that you have? Of course they are. I assume so, but I wanted to ask for the listeners. Yes. So with that, like, was it something that you had to force on them, or did they see Mama doing her thing and they was like, I want to jump in, like, this looks fun? They just so excited and inspired that they offer their help. Yeah. Yes, my son, every time I'm making orders, he's like, Mama, I want to learn how to make orders. He get in there, he make orders. When I'm flipping my Airbnb, all of us, we in there together. We got a routine, we go in there, because I let them understand that this is not just my business, this is a family business. Absolutely. I'm doing this for a purpose, Absolutely, right, we passing that. Yes. Yeah. And so they excited about it. They love doing it. Now the question is, are they on payroll? Look, that's what I was just about to say. Sometimes I pay them because I did notice that they work a little harder when I tell them that they got some money coming in. So I started paying them. I'm like, you know what? Because I do have a cleaning fee on my Airbnb, so I'm not really going to be paying them. Yeah. So I at least give them the cleaning fee to keep them inspired, because the last few times I feel like I've been having to drag them out to come help me. Yeah. And I don't feel their support, but I know it's because they want to go do something else. Yeah, I mean, the 20-year-old, she probably, because that's your daughter, The 20-year-old, she probably looking at it like, yeah, Ma, I get it. It's time for me to, kind of, carry my own weight. But yeah, I could definitely see it, especially with that 13-year-old, like, Mom,
Fortnite on.
Yeah.
What you doing right now, man? The gang on live right now. I got clean right now.
Right.
But just kind of transition. I do want to understand, because as we mentioned, like this, of course, this is a relationship podcast. So I wanted to want to go into that area, like my first question from that standpoint is like, you talked a little bit about whenever you were, when you first got your high school diploma, went back, and then you started having these jobs, and then you were basically in corporate America, right? I want to dissect for you, how was dating in that world versus dating now that you have 3 grown babies, you have businesses, there's projects that you're grooming to take off for you and for your family. How has that shifted for you from when you were just doing the corporate world to now that you actually got projects and shit that you...
Time. And the person would have to be more so understanding. That's why it would have to be someone that you're dating that's probably in the same field as you or understand the journey that you're on, where you at in your life. But when I was in the corporate America, I had a lot of time. Yeah. 9
to 5.
Okay. After I get off work, we could go out. But now it's like I could have something to do and I got to change it at drop of a dime, because maybe like when I originally told I was coming on the show. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I just got a booking for my Airbnb and somebody's there. So I have to flip it. I have to have it ready for these people. So it's time. Yeah.
And that's so important, because I honestly believe that, like, and you could as a woman, you could tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I truly believe that, like, that's y'all settlement. Like, y'all, even time in and like understanding of time, right? Like meaning time in, meaning making sure that you get time in, you spend the time, but then your understanding of the time and the shit that's going on. It's always interesting to me when I see women in the position that you in, right, juggling all that, because it's like, fuck, how much time is in a day for you?
I know, right?
So, and because for me, like, at certain points, you have to back burner something. Yeah. Right?
You do.
And a lot of times,
or you're going to get overwhelmed.
Right. And a lot of times that comes to the detriment of a date that may be scheduled.
Yes.
Or something that you got going on. So, to your point about a guy being headstrong and having to understand that, that's important. In your experience, though, have you run into men more understanding of that, or do you feel like you're always having to explain that to people?
Well, I feel like they are understanding, because I feel like we're finding each other we're on the same path, we're on the same journey. Yeah. We understand responsibilities and what it takes to be able to grow in this world. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we all grown. Yeah. So,
and communication, if you could, and like you made a good point just now. Like, I tell people all the time, like, the easiest way for you to find somebody that you're going to enjoy being around is find them and however you're moving in life already.
Yes.
Like, so much to your point you said earlier about that person just needs to be on that path. It's so true. Because if you, like, for me, if I jump into the game and I have this grind that I'm on and I'm constantly doing this, and this, but then the chick, she working that 9 to 5, or maybe not even putting in 40 hours, right? And all she got is time. I know it's coming. It's, where you at all day? What you doing? Boom. And I tell women now, I do not have time to explain to you constantly, like, my day-to-day play.
Right. But look, now let's be real now. Let's be 100% real. Now, if you really feeling that person, you're going to make time.
You make time.
You're going to make time.
I can't make all the time.
No, not all the time.
I agree with you.
Not all the time.
If I really fuck with you, I find a way to make time.
Right. But they have to be understanding too.
Yeah.
But do you want a bum or what, sis?
Right. And bro. It goes both ways, but then, like, we talk a bit about the understanding piece, but, like, let's be real though, like, when you in your feeling, how hard is it to be understanding, right? Like, when you feeling away, like, nah, this nigga playing with me.
That's when communication comes in hand. That's when you have to communicate. And as women, we do have to be redirected more often than men. And especially if it's in a long-term relationship, because we feed off emotions. So maybe we feel like that absences mean that he don't love me no more. He don't want to be with me no more. Maybe he's seeing somebody else. And all you have to do is basically redirect them. Baby, I still love you. We still doing this, but I just got this, that going on. But I'm going to make a plan or a date to block off so that we could spend some time together. And I feel like in those situations, having like set date nights help a lot.
Yeah. Would you think in those situations though, would that because I get the idea of setting that, in the expectation in the beginning. But do you feel like that can become boring? Because I had an opinion on that. With that, like if I constantly did the same date night every night or ran the same type of dates, right? Like the dates was always on Tuesday, right? She may get bored of that, right? Or if I'm doing the same 3 dates, that may like is the routine does it ever get bored for you, or you appreciate that?
I appreciate it because you have to make it spontaneous, and of course it would be bored if you're doing the same thing. Yeah. So that's when you set rules in place. Like, so we have to make sure we do something different every week. We do this date, or I planned it this time, you plan it the next time. And then after you feel like you exhausted everything and now it is getting boring, then y'all just find something else to do. Maybe just switch the dates up.
Yeah.
But I would say that every time it has to be a rule, that every time it has to be something different, a different type of setting. We cannot go out to eat every time. No, sir.
I'm finna go there too.
Okay. I don't want to go out to eat all the time. Okay. Maybe in a different setting. Maybe bring me on a picnic. Yeah. Change the setting. We can still go eat, but just a different setting. Yeah.
And so just really quickly, like what types of stuff that just randomly like that, and not just you in particular, just women, for the viewers, specifically the men, what types of stuff that you've seen that, guys have been doing that you really take a liking to from the creative side of dating outside of just a regular restaurant date? And I know you mentioned picnic as one, but
creative on the outside. Anything that's thoughtful, anything that's different from the regular day-to-day date, anything that you have basically put together based on thoughts that you were listening to what she said, because that's how you basically create something special. You have to listen to the woman because, baby, we drop hints all the time. All the time.
That's one thing a woman can't tell me is I'm attentive as fuck.
And if you create a date and it's just some kind of hint that she dropped, it doesn't matter how small that date is, just because she know that you're paying attention to her and you listening is going to mean the world.
Yeah, and like for me, like the crazy thing is like when I get into these conversations with my guys, and like for me, like if you know me, I ain't no dude who bash dudes.
Right. I'm
a man's man. I fuck with my dudes because I think kings have to raise kings, or none, and you need one to uplift one, right? But at the same time, it's also frustrating when like you having those conversations with other men and you explaining this right here, because I understand it from the level that you're talking about, but I took the time to understand it. But when you try to do it, it's like, man, I ain't gonna ever say that shit. I got this going on, and you're right. But like I tell women all the time, right? Women will come back and say, there's literally there's no good men out there. There's all this going on, and I have no argument to that. My rebuttal to it, however, is that, listen, y'all hold the power. Right? You hold the power. A nigga gonna do whatever that box tells us we have to do.
Okay.
So if the box say we gotta wait and I need you to be in a position to at least, support me how I'm supporting you.
Right.
A nigga gonna go find a way to support somebody, right?
Exactly.
I think it's too many women just being okay laying down with bum dudes.
Okay.
That make it okay. And you making babies by these dudes, and then that cycle continues.
Exactly. So, poverty.
So, and I hate to put this back on. I'm not trying to say that y'all have to change how men think. I'm saying that y'all have to help.
Oh, of course. Of course. I totally agree. Your vibe is your tribe, baby. Okay. Right. So whatever type of, and I also believe in this, whatever you believe in your mind is what you are going to attract. If you constantly saying ain't no good men out there, guess what, sis? You're going to keep attracting these no goods. Because it is very much so good men out there. Yeah, for sure. Very much so.
Yeah, it is. Like anything else, if you're not willing to go through the bullshit, I don't give a fuck what it is, relationships, business, your relationship with your parents, whatever friendships you got going on, networking events, you're going to weave sales. You can talk from the you're going to weave through bullshit.
Yes.
Your Airbnb business, I know you go through bullshit.
Oh, yes.
It's
oh, my God.
Quit,
yes. No, of course not.
And I tell women, the frustrating
quitting
part
is not an option.
Listen,
okay.
The frustrating part is I understand as humans, we are sexual creatures by nature, right? And so I get that a woman craves a man and you get lonely. However, there's certain times where you should absolutely stand solid and make a man elevate himself when you see that he's not doing it. Because right. I guarantee you the men, at least the ones I move around, we're always making sure that sis is elevating herself to walk in our circle. Okay. So I'm not mad if you're requiring the same thing.
Okay, exactly. And that's why you're not mad, because it to you is normal.
Right. You know? Exactly. This is the norm. This is how it should be.
I totally agree. Yeah. And that would keep down a lot of confusion, I think, in relationships. You know?
Do you in your relationships, with you being on the spiritual journey you on, do you feel the need to always like introduce a guy to that if he's not on that path, or is it something that's like, hey, this is what I'm on and join if you feel?
I don't evidently introduce him. I just be myself.
Okay.
And being around me, you gonna automatically pick it up.
That energy.
You're gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna just be myself. And if you come in my space, you're definitely going to know, because you're going to see crystals, okay? You're going to see Buddha. You're going to see sage, all of that stuff, okay? I'm ringing bells, okay? We praying over here, baby, because we blessed, okay? Right. And it's nothing, I've never, that's one thing about me, I have never forced anybody to believe in what I believe in, never. And I don't, because I don't want nobody to do it to me. Yeah. Okay, if you believe in your beliefs, I believe in mine, cool. Maybe we could educate each other on it, but I'm not trying to force you out of what you're doing, and I don't want you to force me out of what I'm doing, because that could cause some confusion between us, because everybody's different. I can't tell you which path to walk on, and if you're walking on your path, awesome. How did you get there? What you like about it? Maybe I can learn something from your spirituality and put it in mine, incorporate it in mine, but let it be somewhat like mine. But I'm not trying to change nobody. Put no gun to nobody's head.
I agree. Like, and what I found on my journey is that, like, honestly, the most fulfilling conversations I have nowadays, and honestly, who I find the sexiest of women, are the ones that we can go into these deep conversations. Right. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, having a stimulating conversation, especially if we spark one and we smoking, and you know, whenever your head goes, she's like, how you thinking? Okay, man. Like, I'm so fulfilled in that, because all I want to do after that is fuck on you. Now I'm like, all right, I'm with the shit.
I'm the same way. If I cannot have a conversation with you, I'm like, what we doing?
Right. I mean, granted, you got your moments. I'm loaded and she bad and I'm like, cool.
You see, I don't have those moments. In order for you,
I'm single.
Like, if you dumb, you dumb. I can't talk to you, my boy. You dumb. You don't. It's nothing that you're talking about. It's making me interested. You know. Yeah. If I feel like my most fulfilling conversations is when I'm talking, if I'm learning something from you, because I feel like everybody could teach you something. Yeah. If we talking about something that I feel like that's beneficial to me, I'm all ears, but I don't want to talk about no gossip. I don't want to talk about no celebrity gossip. I don't want to talk about what she doing. No, and I don't like that energy. Yeah, I don't want to down talk nobody, because what that's gonna do for me, that is not putting money in my pocket.
Right. That's a good point, though. That's a good point what you just made when you talked about the energy piece. Because, like, granted, you could talk about how you wasting time looking into all this stuff, but I don't think a lot of people realize, like, when we scrolling through social media, when we paying attention
that's
to
wasting time.
You definitely wasting time, but then you also bringing that energy in your space.
Okay.
Like, when you hear about all these breakups on these reality TV shows, it then becomes the norm. It's okay to be a fuckboy, because homie eating on TV.
Okay.
So he treat his woman like shit and he got to the bag, right? Yeah. Or she, same thing for her, right? It's okay to be one of those chicks who's just out there and not giving a fuck about nobody but herself. Like, when we feed our minds that shit, it becomes normal.
Right.
And I'm saying that shit because sometimes I fall victim. I'm not exempt from that shit. I scroll through online and I'm like, and there's been plenty of times I'm like, why the fuck am I interested in this? I mean, I have a podcast, so there are certain things that I have to be dated into, which I'm okay with. However, sometimes when it's just leisure shit, like some old news or something that's coming up where it's like, that really ain't a part of our lane and it doesn't make sense for the show, I'm still head first in the shit. I have to snap myself out.
But you're doing it for business purposes.
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm being honest. Some of it, but I do a great job now, because I love being vulnerable and being honest with myself. Okay. Like, I just share that with the world, but I love being honest with myself.
That's really
good. And I know for a fact, it's like a lot of times I'm like, come on, Kay, you can be writing content. You can be trying to follow up on another, because there's certain properties that I'm trying to get right. There's a bunch of shit that I just got in the works that I'm trying to, and you just wake up and be like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Natural procrastination. I deal with that too. And then all the time I guess I just remind myself the why and how good it feels, because it's many times, let me hear you, that I got to do stuff and I really don't want to do it. Yeah. I could really just sit at home and chill, but then I'm going to beat myself up later. And so I just pull the strength out of me, and I guess I just get it done. Yeah. One thing, if it got to be done, I'm going to get it done. Even if I don't want to do it, I'm going to get it done. Yeah. And I still have those moments too.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said, that procrastination piece. That's exactly what it is. Because you, and for me, I'll tell you why though. My procrastination comes because it's like, man, my back is against the wall and I got a deadline and it's like, damn, bro, it's time to get this done. Oh, I'm gonna perform.
Okay.
So I come out, I was like, all right.
Me too, on the same.
2 days. Let me knock this shit out.
Right.
For 3 weeks. Right?
Right.
And I don't know why.
Because you can do it. Because you can do it.
Because I can't. I add so much stress to myself.
It does.
Like,
oh my God, I do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But so how do you cope with that? Do you stay walking that path because that's you, or do you try to change that?
Try to change it, because that is not a good thing to have. Because like you say, at the end, you become so overwhelmed when you could just get it done easily. So with that, I start making a schedule. So I write down basically what I got to need based on the need of it. Like, does this need to be done in 3 days, 5 days, 24 hours? And after I do the needs, then I work them down. And I found that it's easier for me to go through my day when I write things down, because I have daily goals. I set daily goals for myself. Like I have an hour, I have to learn something new. An hour and a half, I need to at least work on a big goal that I'm accomplishing. 30 minutes for spiritual, an hour and 30 minutes for my health, like working out.
Yep.
And these things all factor into me being successful.
Yeah.
Taking care of myself.
Okay, and I want like the set schedule, like you have it down like that. That's so hard.
It is. And I'm not saying that I'm not doing it perfectly.
Okay.
It's hard.
Yeah, sometimes
it's very hard. Yes.
I've tried it. Cause you're right. I tried to get those schedules lined up and things like that. And then it's like, damn, something always come up.
Yes.
And, and then I'm 9 o'clock at night in the gym. And then I'm up until 1 in the morning because you got all this adrenaline running through you. That type of shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm fuck this schedule. Get it done when I get. It's not good to say that. That's how frustrating I get. I'm like, man,
you should work out in the morning.
No, for sure. Whenever I get a chance to, absolutely. Even if it's just me waking up and getting a stretch in and doing my yoga, doing some shit like that and meditate. My rule of thumb is that I have to sweat every day. I don't if it's just a walk, if it's something, sweat every day. Because a lot of times I take the day off, but I'll go for a walk in the park. Yes. Or and that's exactly like what I found on my journey. That's dope to me. I didn't even know I like Audible Books.
Oh, I love Audible Books.
And I went on a walk and I put one in.
I love Audible Books. 5
minutes in, I was sunk. I was like, this is the new way.
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't pump no iron and I can't do like no intense cardio to no Audible Book. Because I'm like, I need Kevin Gates to be talking to me right now.
No, I do mine like when I'm driving.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Like instead of music, I make sure I listen to an Audible book. But sometimes, you just want to get into your wretched side. I want to hear music. But then again, I just want to be peaceful and feed my mind with something new. So I do my Audible books when I'm driving, especially from here to Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I haven't went home in a minute. But the next time I do, I want to put a couple books on. I do because my first Audible book was Thich Nhat Hanh is the guy. I can't remember the book. But man, I put that book on and I was listening. You Are Here is the name of the book. Okay. By Thich Nhat Hanh. A friend of mine put me on that book, and it literally when you come in, it's so dope. And the whole concept of the entire book is being present. He even talked about stopping at a red light. And a lot of times we be in traffic, right? And you so frustrated about that you in traffic. Yeah. And they're saying, instead of doing that, use those few seconds, that 30 seconds you got or that minute you have at that red light to recognize that you're at a red light and then be present in that moment and kind of clear your mind. And so it talks about just being here and now and present in the moment. And I put that book on, sunk me the fuck in. And so I'm like, nah. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking with Audible Books.
Okay. You need to check out The Way to a Superior Man, because I know y'all talk about relationships a lot on the podcast. The Way to a Superior Man is an awesome book for men and women. Okay. I feel like it's more so to men, but a woman could learn a lot from it too. Okay. It's a very good book.
Is a woman's perspective coming to understand the man?
This is a man perspective of understanding the woman. Okay. But then it also explains to the woman of things. Well, the way it's explained is that the woman will pick up to how you basically could make yourself vulnerable or understand your man. Like when you're having problems, it's just a really deep insight book. It's really good.
Nice. And you say one more time?
The way to a Superior Man.
And is this written by me, man?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check out the artist. So Way to a Superior Man. Yes. So we got 2 more things. I got one more question for you, and then we got this thing called Bro Talk and Sis Talk. So my first question, really quickly, I wanted to ask you was in regards to advice out there for the women, right? We don't get a chance to sit down with many women, but when I do, I always like to let it come from the horse's mouth, because I feel like A lot of times we try to force it on them. So if you just one or two things that that you can give out there to the listeners that kind of that's some advice that kind of took you from where you was at. Like you talked about being a high school dropout, now to a successful business owner of like 2 or 3 businesses. What advice would you give up to get to that step?
The number one thing is to love yourself. In order for you to be able to love or to give anything, you must first find it within yourself. Any kind of blocks you have, child traumas, anything, go within yourself. Counseling, meditation, yoga, praying, anything that you feel would help you on your, because it's considered a spiritual journey. Help you on your spiritual journey, you should dive into it. Yeah. Love yourself, number one.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Self-love is the best.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to kick it over to you really quick. And like I say, Bro Talk, it's just, what we do is we give advice. Honestly, it can be funny. We can kick some shit. We can talk whatever you want to. That advice you gave, love yourself, could have been some sis talk, but I wanted you to kind of speak to the women. But like, you can talk to men on this sis talk, whatever. I'm going to give you a few seconds to kind of give your sis talk. I'm going to wrap us up with Bro Talk. We'll go from there.
So my sis talk, I'm going to say, well, sis, y'all get in your bag, okay? Yeah. Get in your bag, set expectations, and then they would have to, I'm not going to say follow through because that sounds too masculine. I'm working on my being more feminine, Okay. But basically, yes, get in your bag. Love yourself and be open-minded. And know that relationships are not going to be perfect. What you see in the fairy tales, it's not real. Everybody's going to have problems. It's how you work through it. Stick to it. Be consistent. Be real. Be open. And be honest.
Be you.
And stand on your own. When you can stand on your own, you can always have somebody come stand on side of you,
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I think it requires that from women to elevate us. But yeah, just to sum us up, man, my Bro Talk is, life is a journey, man. So I got two words of advice for you. Pack light and drink a lot of water, bro. I am KP of the Certified Steppaz Podcast. This is episode 36. This is the lovely Kiki. Make sure y'all check out. You're going to find links to her holistic
herbs.
Yeah, holistic herbs. We're going to get out there and get links to that so you guys can get healthy. We're also, if you want to drop in some of your Airbnb things, how they can find you whenever they come to Houston. If you want to book with her, I'll have all those links. I'll get that from you. We'll post it at the bottom. But I appreciate you for tapping in. I appreciate you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to see y'all on the other side.
Peace.